Fringe Radio, your trusted source for the paranormal, conspiracy theory, and true crime. Coming to you live from the Mistopheles Studios, it's Dark Fringe Radio. Letting me in. And welcome to Dark Fringe Radio. I am your host, Will Martinez, and of course, here with my co-host, Jay Lucie. Jay, what is going on?
Not a whole lot, my guy. Live in La Vida, Florida.
There we go. I love that. That's exactly right. Well, listen, Jay, episode 135 here, of course, your premier source for the paranormal, conspiracy theory, and true crime, of course, Dark Fringe Radio. Jay, 135. We're getting up there. It's crazy. But tonight we have a very special episode. We went back out to the Devil's Tree.
Sure did.
Oh boy, Jay, and
had a devil of a time.
We did. Even though it was cut kind of short, we had a little bit of an incident happen, but we'll talk about all that and a little bit more when we get a little bit further into the episode here tonight.
Yeah, man.
But first, Jay, how can everybody listen to the podcast, and where can they go for all our information?
You can listen to our podcast anywhere you find them: Stitcher, iTunes. You can find them on Google Play, but the best place is to go directly to the source, get it right from the horse's mouth, and that's not me calling William's name. You can go right to darkfringeradio.com, find all of our content, videos, past episodes, all kinds of new content. We're trying to split off. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming up. We've got more of these adventures coming. So make sure you go to darkfringeradio.com and check out our newest content today.
Absolutely, Jay. I couldn't said it better myself. Please, guys, go ahead and check that out there. Also, check us out on YouTube and all our social media on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Dark Fringe Radio. Make sure you go there. The website, I'm actually doing a kind of like a monthly series thing here, Jay. I'm actually writing articles on my favorite horror movies. And so I'm doing like retrospectives. And the last one I did was on The Crow. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I did, actually.
So I did that one. I did a couple other ones. I did one on Freaks. I did one on Donnie Darko, another one of my favorite from of course, the 90s. And so make sure you go there, Dark Fringe Radio, check out that stuff. We always have a lot of content there, so make sure you enjoy all that stuff. So Jay, let's get started here for Dark Fringe Radio tonight. Let's go into some Dark Fringe news. You ready for that?
Always.
Yeah.
For 15 years, I've been trying to teach you how to write a lead. Do I have to do everything myself? Get the story, write the story?
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I was looking at the James
It's
Brown.
my favorite.
Fuck it.
Fucking thing sucks. If that's your kind of thing, Marie, you love doing it yourself.
Sometimes, yeah. I can. Take
Confucius say, I do not think the story has much.
Oh, there we go. Well, let's get started with some Dark Fringe news, Jay. First thing we wanted to talk about tonight was famed paranormal investigator Zach Bagans purchases exorcism box and journal. So, Jay, I'm sure if you're not, or most people are familiar with Zach Bagans. He is the creator of Ghost Adventures. He's been on TV for probably like the last 15, 20 years, chasing ghosts. And he has this museum out in Las Vegas that I have not yet tried to get out there and check it out. But supposedly he curates all these items, Jay, and puts them in this museum out in Las Vegas. You can actually go in there and look at them, and they're all on display. Pretty interesting stuff, but looks like he is exercising his right, Jay, to scare the crap out of folks at his haunted museum. He's bringing in some of the creepy-ass artifacts from famous exorcisms. So this is the next thing that he's doing now. The famed Ghost Adventure star tells TMZ he recently got his hands on the fabled exorcism box, which was used during the 1970s real-life exorcism of Annalise Michel, whose story was inspiration behind the 2005 movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. So Yeah, that was a pretty gruesome tale, Jay. That was one of a priest trying to exorcise the demons out of this one girl until basically she died. I mean, she didn't even survive, the exorcisms, and it basically the demons just ate her away, physically, because she couldn't eat and she just became emaciated. Very, very horrible story. But Zach tells us that he got the box from the filmmaker Christopher St. Booth, who wanted to get rid of it after a disturbing experience, just to put it mildly, Jay. While he had the box, Booth says that he felt something growing inside of him, and a doctor determined the growth contained teeth and stem cells. So he actually had a growth grow inside of him, and it actually had stem cells and teeth. Booth says that he had an archbishop exorcise the box, and while doing so, he saw a dark figure dart past him. Booth believes that it was Annalise, who died back in 1976, following the 67 Catholic exorcism rites. Zach says Booth told him that the archbishop saw the figure too, which appeared to have Annalise's face, and it was shaking uncontrollably as if it was being pushed away from the box by dark energy. Booth believes that the exorcism box absorbed all of the energy from Annalise's exorcisms. If it doesn't give you enough chills, Jay, Zach also obtained a copy. Let's hold this of the famous Exorcist diary, which inspired the 1974 movie The Exorcist. So not does he have this box that was used during this exorcism, he has the diary of the actual exorcism of the Exorcist in his museum, Jay.
Yeah, chills down my back. Literally, just chills down my back. No thanks.
Yeah.
Why do you fuck with this shit? No.
That's crazy, right? Yeah.
Why do you want to be the kid? First off, why do you want to keep this shit? Why would you want to own that shit?
Well, listen, at least he's doing it like smartly, because I know a lot of people that are in this field, Jay, in the paranormal podcast field that do investigations and stuff like that. What they do is they find these haunted objects and they bring them home, which is like, why would you even do that? At least he's putting him in a museum where he's not actually living. You know what I mean? It's at least his hands, removed from there. He's not sleeping there. He's not. But yeah, some of these people that I see, Jay, on Facebook, I mean, they'll bring haunted, cursed items into their house, and then all hell breaks loose. What do you expect, right?
I'm out. No, thank you.
Jay's at a loss for words.
Yeah, seriously. I just don't. I mean, okay. Listen, I will be the first one to tell everyone I make bad decisions all the time. I'm really good at making decisions for other people. But when it comes to me making a decision for myself, for some reason, I fuck it always up.
Yeah.
That being said, there is one area I seem to be ahead of the step. And that's this thing called logic when it comes to fucking around with paranormal. Again, I say, William, you cannot double dag takedown a ghost.
No,
you can't shoot a sweep single on a poltergeist. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work.
They don't have those, right? It's not really the same thing. So I don't see why we fuck with this shit.
I don't either. And it's crazy to me that people actually curate this stuff. It's just mind-boggling to me. Then they put it in their own house, and it's like, why would you do that? You're just endangering yourself and your family at that point too. I don't get it. See, at least what he's doing, like I said earlier, he's putting it in a museum. He, nobody's there, at night, and whatever the case may be, nobody's living there. But at the same time, man, why would you even want to be around all that stuff? But anyways,
not want to be in that museum at night.
Just to explain to you, Jay, how rare this book is and how important this book is, there are only 6 copies of the diary, 2 of which remain at the vault at the Vatican. The diary documents a 3-month period, of exorcisms on a 13-year-old boy in St. Louis, Missouri, back in 1949, which was the actual inspiration for the movie The Exorcist.
Right.
Zach says Booth had the diary while working on a documentary called The Exorcist File. Booth says he felt very oppressed and suicidal whenever the diary was nearby. And get this, of course, here, Jay, just a little to boot, right? Zach says Booth told him that he had the diary with him in a hotel where he saw a horned, shadowy figure appear just before something scratched him on his ankle and pulled him out of his bed. Yeah.
No. No. Why? No. Why are we bringing this shit in our houses? No. First off,
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
Since bringing the items to his haunted museum in Las Vegas, Zach says countless guests are refusing to enter the new exorcism room exhibit before they even know what's inside, with some saying they felt lightheaded and just not well. Zach is, of course, not new to the exorcism world. He filmed his 100th episode of Ghost Adventures in a house where the notorious St. Louis exorcism was performed. Of course, the exorcism that inspired The Exorcist. It is a timely acquisition for Zach, of course, because just in the next couple of weeks, the new Exorcist movie will be coming out, which looks fucking fantastic, by the way. If you guys haven't seen the trailer for that, I recommend you guys go ahead and look at that on YouTube. So check that out. But yeah, Jay, very interesting here. This guy just keeps procuring this really sensitive material, no?
Apparently he is. Again, I'm not sure why. Yes, at least he's doing it the right way, and he has a lot of experience. So I guess if there's anybody apt to do this kind of thing,
it's him.
It's him.
Right.
Like the museum that has the doll Annabelle locked away.
Oh yeah.
Like
the Warren Museum. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those things just, they need to be away. Yeah. Locked away where it can't be anywhere near a human being. Can't be anywhere near our realm.
Right.
The fact that 2 of those diaries remain in the vault of the Vatican, god awful. Could you imagine what's in that vault? Could you imagine the stuff that are in the vaults of the Vatican?
Jay, do you know there's 5 miles of tunnels of the Vatican?
I did.
That's huge. I mean, that's like, that's ridiculous. Do you know how much information they said that there's bodies in there? There's aliens in there of like extraterrestrial beings. They don't know what they are. You know what I mean? They say there's a lot of shit in there, Jay. They say that actually the Library of Alexandria burning down was just a cover up, and all that shit was stolen, and they actually took it to the Vatican. Makes sense. I mean,
Knights Templar?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There you go. Go back to Freemasonry right there again. You know, they're always
Curse of Oak Island.
Oh Lord. All right, Jay. Well, listen, the next item I wanted to kind of bring up for tonight, the dead zone. I-4, I-4, Jay, named one of the most haunted roads in America. And of course, for those that don't know,
is there like a People's Digest vote for this? Like I didn't get my registration. I never got a thing.
You never got that vote?
I say Point Beach Boulevard. That's just me.
Point Beach Boulevard. Oh, really? Okay. Well, let's talk about I-4 tonight. I-4, for those that don't know, is a very busy interstate highway that runs east to west in the middle of Florida that connects Orlando to Tampa, and basically it just dissects Florida in the middle. And it's a very busy stretch of highway because a lot of the anemones and of course Disney World and things of that nature are attached to I-4. Just getting off I-4, there's exits for all these things. So it's a very highly populated area, very, a lot of traffic all the time.
Confusing.
Very confusing too. But I-4 is known for, of course, Jay, like we're talking about, its traffic jams, its endless construction and crashes. But is it haunted? That's what they're saying here tonight. Well, the legend has it that at least one stretch by the St. Johns River Bridge, which connects the Seminole and Volusia County, and the spooky history dates back to the late 1800s. So, okay, let's check this out. The story goes that a group of immigrants who were Swiss and German settled on land near the bridge, and that colony was plagued by a tragedy including yellow fever, and there was a cemetery built in their honor to their loved ones. Its cemetery then presumably got moved over when I-4 was built decades ago, of course. And ever since then, there has been something that people say is causing accidents. People say it's bad luck. Some people say with the haunted history museum, they say it could just be whatever. Right down to the road in Casadega that's not far from there. A spiritualist community, they fear that they have all those accounts all the time in their area. So it seems to be something in that area of I-4 and, all that really weird area there, Jay, where they're starting to see like a lot of just, weird shit there.
Why do we move people's graves? Like,
I don't know. That's weird, right?
What the shit, bro?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Be a decent person. And like when you're dead and gone and nobody knows what those remains looked like when those remains had muscle and sinew, don't you want your bones being respected? Don't you want your gravesite being left alone? Would you want your shit disturbed? No. So let's leave all these dead people alone, man. Golly.
I know, right? Well, Tina Green, Jace, who owns the Haunted History Museum, says that the stretch of I-4 even has a name called the I-4 Dead Zone. Florida Highway Patrol says in the last 10 years there have been at least 26 deadly crashes in the area, and people have reported seeing a ghost. People are going down I-4 crossing that big bridge from Volusia to Seminole County when they see apparitions of a woman walking down the side of the road. And usually they say she's in a white gown. Here we go again with a white lady in the gown thing, right? And then, of course, they pull over to pick her up, and then she's gone. Is I-4 haunted, Jay? I mean, by ghosts or haunted by bad drivers? I mean, these could be, one way to find out. But,
I've seen crazier things.
Right. Exactly. And
okay. I mean, one of the times I've seen something was driving while driving. It was while driving down Old Tullahoma Highway in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Right. You told me about that.
Very dark of the night, and it was out of nowhere. There was suddenly a fucking Union soldier just standing there.
Right. Walking into a wall, you said, right? That was on the side.
No. He was standing. There was a car in front of me.
Yeah.
That was stopping to turn off Old Tullahoma Highway and go over these train tracks. Which Tullahoma, Tennessee, by the way, doesn't have guardrails for the trains. You have to look both ways.
Yeah.
That's small town living, friends. So, because they weren't worried that the 25 people lived in the city were going to get hit by a train. Right. So, I'm sitting there, and I just picked up my daughter. It wasn't long after my son had been born. My daughter was at my brother-in-law's house, and I remember picking her up, and I was sitting in the car. It had to be like 2 a.m, maybe. And sure enough, something caught my eye, and I looked, and not but feet away from the passenger side window of my Explorer was an apparition. I mean, you could look through it.
Right, but you could also
see that he was there.
But you could also tell that it was a Union soldier, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you saw. I mean, I could see him.
Right.
It was more than I could see. I saw his face. I saw the hat. I saw the beard that was very sparse and kind of red. I saw the way that the coat kind of hung, right? Like it was a little too big for him. And he just was looking through me. And I didn't want to look away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I didn't want to look away. Scared out of my damn mind.
You get just chills thinking about it right now, aren't you?
I do. Actually, if you can't see it, I think the hair lit on my arms. Because look at Adam. Seeing that guy right there. And the car had turned. And once the car turned, it caught just enough my attention to where I looked. I didn't move my head. I just moved my eyes. And when I started my eyes back, he was gone. And at that point, I put my foot all the way to the floor. And every one of those 6 cylinders in that 4-liter motor
was firing, huh?
Because I was foot down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna run through deer. If anything gets in my way, that's it. I'm not stopping the car until I get to the house. Yeah. And then I slept that night in my daughter's room on her floor.
Well, yeah, Jay. I mean, listen. Again, people seeing stuff on the highways, and again, people seeing the white lady in the white, the white dress. Just waiting to get picked up, and then as they go to pick her up, she's gone. How many times have we heard that story?
Have you ever seen a ghost in a white dress?
Not a lady in a white dress. I saw my first apparition that I saw was the very first time I saw a ghost. I was young, and I saw a girl that was about the size of Layla, my daughter, in a black dress, standing right next to the closet. And all you could see was just the apparition, like the outline of it.
Right.
Everything inside was just completely dark. Like it was like almost like a shadow kid. Jeez. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I've never seen a lady in white, but I've seen that.
I did.
And the black hat man saw that dude at my cousin's house, and then come find out years later he saw the same thing, and then we kind of confirmed each other's story, which is wild. But never that. But yeah, it's the same old story that you hear all the time though with the lady in the white. Always all the time. Yep. But yeah, interesting stories here tonight, Jay. And that's it for Dark Fringe News. I guess next segment, of course. What the F Florida Man? And you ready to do some What the Florida Man, Jay?
I'm always ready to do What the Florida Man.
All right. Let's do it.
Florida man.
A Florida man.
A Florida man.
A Florida man.
Now to the town of Seffner, Florida, near Tampa, where last night the earth opened up, as it does increasingly, and this time it swallowed a 37-year-old man as he slept in his home.
A man accused of destroying a liquor store in Okaloosa County told police he was in Alice in Wonderland. Matthew Horace Jones also said
that was like fucking like Nightmare on Elm Street, like where Johnny Depp gets sucked into the fucking bed. I mean, that's exactly what happened to that guy.
It's actually a little bit more. Well, yeah, you're talking the sinkhole guy.
Yeah, the sinkhole guy. Yeah. Ooh, bad.
Yeah.
a caterpillar smoking a hookah told him to do it.
A man calls 911.
That one reminds me of a different Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you remember Freddy versus Jason?
Yeah, where that actually happened. It was like a caterpillar.
Where the guy gets high, and then suddenly Freddy's a fucking caterpillar and jumps in this dude's body, and like.
All right. It gives it a shotgun, remember?
I do.
Yeah, he gives him a shotgun. Oh my god. That's where it started to get wonky, right? That scene, I don't know, so unnecessary.
It got wonky way before that movie was even made.
That's true. Let's get back.
By Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was all right.
Yeah, you're right.
Collier County Sheriff's deputies are chasing him, and he says Donald Trump, our president, is his personal friend, a close one at that.
A Lake Worth man is not too happy. He's accused of getting violent when waiters at a restaurant told him they weren't giving away free pizza.
Covering Florida this morning, a Key West man is behind bars. Investigators say he was caught with a large amount of cocaine hidden in this Cookie Monster doll.
Holy shit, man.
Cookie Monster doll, baby. All right.
It could have been worse. Could have been hidden in his anus.
That's good. Ooh, yeah, there you go. Oh, Jesus.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him.
The evidence was dropping 1 point at a time.
Talk about black tar heroin.
Oh, Lord. Gross. All right, Jay.
Wow.
Well, what do you have for us this week for What the F Florida Man?
I toiled. I spent seconds searching the second thing that came up, because the first thing was in reference to apparently a show coming up that's kind of built off our premise here. Just
oh yeah. Let's not
hear from our lawyers.
Yeah.
Copyright infringement. Anyways, Florida man arrested after trying to cross Atlantic in a hamster wheel vessel.
A hamster wheel vessel. So let's think about this. A hamster wheel vessel. I'm thinking of. So he had this huge hamster wheel thing.
You're gonna have to for the listeners, brother. For the watchers. Not unfortunately for the listeners. I'll describe it for those who only listen via podcast.
Please.
But if you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna ask Will to edit at some point in by the magic of. And hopefully you'll see somewhere a picture of this man's hamster wheel. It's like it's like a rectangular cage. It's crazy. It's got all these buoys on the outside, and it looks like he can stay in the middle. Florida man was arrested after trying to run to London across the Atlantic Ocean in a homemade vessel resembling a hamster wheel.
Wow.
Brilliant.
How far did this guy get, Jay?
70 miles.
Wow.
It's a pretty good run.
Actually,
pretty good run.
Further than I thought he would get. Actually.
I had trouble running 2 miles yesterday. This guy's out in a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Goes 70 fucking miles. Against the
Fuck you 2 miles, Jay. I just did 70 in the hamster wheel.
I gave you got better cardio, bro.
Yeah.
U.S. Coast Guard intercepted Reza Baluchi about 70 miles or 110 kilometers off of Tybee Island, Georgia on the 26th of August. Officials say the 44-year-old marathon runner refused to leave the vessel for 3 days.
Wow. So he's a marathon runner then.
He's a marathon runner. So
that makes sense. All right. So he knows what he's doing here. Okay.
Built for this shit.
Yeah.
Built for this shit. You know? And get some sun while you do it. I mean, I can only imagine. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing to see while you're forcing yourself to run.
Yeah. 70 miles though in 3 days. They're like, I don't know, man. Like, is that further?
That's a lot, bro.
That's a lot, right?
It's a lot, bro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, what most marathons are 26 miles.
That's true.
So this guy did a marathon a day.
Right.
For 3 days consecutive.
Yeah.
While being out in the water. I can't imagine, again, how hard it is to get any kind of traction and any kind of momentum when you're in a hamster wheel.
Not only that, the wind
on the
if you're
water
going against the wind. I mean, you're screwed, bro. Especially during the Gulf Stream.
Imagine a
That
fucking
Gulf
wave.
Stream. Oh my gosh! I mean, jeez. Wow. All right. So, what's some more information on this guy? Let's hear this. I need to get some more info.
The makeshift contraption was using a shape that was shaped like a wheel with paddles designed to propel it forward as the wheel revolves. Based on the condition of the vessel, which was afloat, as a result of wiring and buoys, the U.S. Coast Guard determined that Lucie was conducting a manifestly unsafe voyage. Is the criminal complaint that they're filing?
Gotcha.
The voyage began, according to officials, preparing for a major hurricane. As the hurricane was bearing down, officials refused to step off the vessel as he threatened to kill himself.
Wow. Oh, so he was going a little cuckoo too, huh?
He's ready. He also claimed that he had a bomb on board, according to court papers.
This thing's got everything on it. Bombs.
He was ready, bro. He was ready. He was ready. I mean, had paddles on the buoys. What else do you need?
There you go.
On September 1st, he eventually surrendered, abandoned his vessel after being brought to the Coast Guard base in Miami. Officials determined that the bomb had been a fake. He is now facing federal charges,
of course,
for obstruction and boarding the violation of a captain and port order.
Oof! Wow.
He fucked.
Oh, especially those maritime laws. When you fuck with those things, they throw the book at you. People don't know that. That's it's something that when you do something overseas, like or on the water like that, and you fuck with maritime law, yeah, they throw the book at you. It's crazy.
But wait.
Uh-oh, there's more.
This was not his first time.
Oh, okay.
This was not his first time. This was not his first arrest. Back in 2021, he was arrested after being rescued while trying to go from Florida to New York.
Yeah.
In a floating bubble.
Oh, Jesus Christ. One of those big old floating bubbles that you go like this.
In 2014.
Yeah.
He had to be rescued from a similar contraption near St. Augustine. And then 2 years later, again, he did it in Jupiter near Palm Beach, Florida, where I happen to live.
Hey, there you go.
This guy's a neighbor.
The guy lives next to you there, Jay.
According to a previous interview, he said that he was attempting to raise money with the voyages for a variety of causes, including for the homeless, for the Coast Guard. Quote,
with the
Mr.
fake bomb
Lucie,
on board. Right.
Well, he threatened to kill himself in a bomb.
Mr. Lucie, he's trying to be Mr. Christopher Columbus, and he couldn't make it.
Listen, I don't know. He was only worried about killing himself. Christopher Columbus killed a whole lot of other people.
Oh, yeah, he did. Let's not get into that.
No, let's not do that because Monday's a special day.
That's right.
My goal, according to Mr. Lucie, I quote, my goal is not to raise money for homeless. My goal is to not only raise money for homeless people, raise money for the Coast Guard, raise money for the police department, raise money for the fire department, as he told WOFL TV in Orlando in 2021. My thing is, if this had been his first thing, the first time, I would maybe buy that excuse, right?
Maybe, right?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Although, show me where are you taking charitable donations? Like,
right?
What money's coming in? Where's that money going? How's the money getting to these people? And every time you have to get rescued by the Coast Guard or the fire department or the police, it costs them money. So
a lot of money.
Just you being out there being dumb like that, taking their time, and 3 days, you stay in your thing for 3 days and threaten to kill yourself with a bomb. You're not doing shit to raise money. You are just cuckoo trying to get across it. And I don't know why. I don't know why you're choosing to do it that way. It's not for me to choose. It's not for me to understand.
I was going to give the guy. I was going to give the guy a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but then when he kind of went nuts, you know what I mean, and then said he had a bomb on board and he actually had a fake bomb, I was like, oh, no, that's predetermined. So I was like, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe went a little crazy on the voyage, being out in the water sometimes, makes you a little crazy in a couple of days out there. You're 48 hours on the water, that probably mentally do something to you. But no, this guy sounds like this was all predetermined.
By yourself in a hamster wheel. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, there's no auxiliary power, so how long is your iPod? How much music are you gonna have?
Fuck.
I mean, that cruise, just to do that in a boat alone takes weeks.
I mean, there are some things now where you could, solar panel things out there now. You know what I mean?
Sure, but it's still days.
It's still days. Yeah,
days
I mean, yeah,
in a boat that goes 30 knots. How fast is this guy running? I mean, I run pretty quick. I average usually about an 8-minute mile. The other day I was doing like 7:30.
Right.
And that's for my age. He's a marathon runner. So let's say he's probably running
5, 6 maybe.
Five's like world. I mean, we're talking he's probably in the high 6s.
Right.
Mid 6s, high 6s.
Right.
Even if you say a low 6, because I want to say a 6-minute mile is pushing world record shit.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, how fast are you going?
I don't know, man.
You're not going 30 knots.
And that's
not for 26 miles.
The wind factor, though, too. I mean, yeah.
And the current.
Yeah. You get caught in the current. I mean, you're done. You're done. All that, any kind of advancement that you make just get wiped out in just minutes, honestly, with the current and the wind, Well, that's crazy, Jay. That's, of course, I'm not surprised. Of course, here out of Jupiter, Florida, what the F, Florida man, trying to sail across the Atlantic. Wow.
That's where I live.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's where we both live. You listen, and no surprise to the trials and tribulations of the Florida man, and we continue to bring that to you every week here at Dark Fringe Radio. So I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you so much for that story, and we're going to get into our main topic here for tonight, just in a few seconds here, which is the return to the Devil's Tree, where we go back out there, and we'll talk all about it here in a second, and we hope you guys hold on and join us when we get back. So please. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us back here at Dark Fringe Radio, your number one spot for the conspiracy theory, paranormal, true crime, everything encapsulated into one. And tonight we have a very, very, very intriguing episode. The return to the Devil's Tree, Jay. It's been a couple of years, and I was able to drag Jay, and actually I drug out my son out there as well. He joined us for a pretty interesting investigation. So, we decided to get out there a little late in the evening. I would say probably around 6 o'clock in the evening, just before it started to get dark. And that was by design, of course. We wanted to get out there and actually be in the dark out there this time and check this place out. It took a lot of lefts, turns, rights, and this and that. We didn't catch anything physically on video, Jay. I went through all the video. Didn't catch anything on video, but it caught a lot of EVPs and a lot of things off the ghost box. So disembodied voices. We hear a little bit of that as well. And not off of the ghost box, just off of just regular audio. And we'll check all that out here. But first, what I'm going to do, Jay, is play a quick video that kind of, like I said earlier, encapsulates the whole story of the Devil's Tree and Gerard John Schaefer and what he was about. And just a very, sinister person. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and set that up and go ahead and share that and get that going. So give me 1 second. Tonight's investigation, the Devil's Tree. Found in Port St. Lucie, Florida, the Devil's Tree is a big oak in a county park. A mighty oak, an ordinary tree. Nothing to write home about, except the fact that the thing might as well growl up and snatch little old ladies and unsuspecting kids and gobble them up like a throwback from a grim fairy tale. The Devil's Tree has an evil, macabre, and incredibly blood-soaked reputation. One that's entwined with Florida's history and its amazing capacity to attract the worst of the worst humanity has to offer. Tonight, we're going to discuss the Devil's Tree, its hauntings, our findings in our investigation, its lore, and more importantly, the hellspawn that created it. The story of the Devil's Tree begins on January 8th, 1971, way before Hammock Park existed, where the mighty oak now stands. The tale begins in a most bloody and shocking manner when a serial killer sexually attacks and mutilates 2 teenage girls. The monster, after having his fill with the 2 girls, hangs them from an oak tree. Then he buries the 2 victims in a shallow grave underneath the tree, only to return numerous times later to have his way with the decomposing bodies. The man's name, Gerard John Schaefer. The homicidal Broward County, Florida ex-policeman Though convicted in 1973 of only 2 mutilation murders, believed to be responsible for at least 30 more killings. A sadistic sex beast by nature, Schaefer would lure young women off the roads with the help of his badge to rape, torture, mutilate, and murder. To say Schaefer was a tormented soul would be an oversimplification. The man was a monster, the sort whose very presence makes people rethink their stance on the anti-death sentence. Schaefer began experimenting with bondage and sadomasochism at the age of 12. The man would inform his state psychiatrist that he loved to tie himself up to trees and get sexually excited by the lack of freedom. Schaefer would hurt and pleasure himself thinking about assaulting women from a very early age. Schaefer's earliest childhood memories were that he desired to be a lady, mainly because his sister was favored by his alcoholic, verbally abusive father. By the age of 14, Schaefer had a sweetheart named Cindy. Their relationship was sordid and strange. He would take part in role-play fantasies that revolved around raping scenarios. And in 1966, the man tried to enter the priesthood. He was rejected because he, quote-unquote, lacked faith. By now, Gerard John Schaefer was a ticking time bomb. That same year, enraged, faithless, and going down a path, a black hole, the bomb exploded. By now, Gerard had graduated to animal cruelty. Gerard was so angry, and he just quit the Catholic religion all in itself and allowed his inner demons to run amok in his cerebellum. The bomb went kaboom, and Gerard decided to start his true calling. He became a professional serial killer. Everything came to head on that fateful year of 1966. On October 2nd, 1966, Nancy Leichner, age 20, and Pamela Nader, age 21, were having fun with their boyfriends in Alexander Springs in the Ocala National Forest. While the boys dove and played by the lake, the girls went out for a stroll. Their bodies turned up, molested, and choked. A couple hours after, their boyfriends called in the cops, and a manhunt ensued. They were actually Gerard's first victims, and he had gotten away with the deed, and no one even looked at him as a suspect. Schaefer turned into law enforcement as a profession, graduating as a patrolman at the end of 1971 at the age of 25. Schaefer was only convicted of 2 murders, but investigators would later uncover a slew of possible victims and missing person reports that were most likely part of Gerard's handiwork. In prison, Gerard boasted of killing more than 30 girls and women. The man, who became a sheriff's deputy in Martin County, Florida, would prowl the streets and byways of the state using his badge to attract his victims. He was a charming and oftentimes gregarious person, and his demeanor worked for his advantage. On July 21st, 1972, Schaefer plucked up from the streets 2 teenage girls named Nancy Trotter and Paula Sue Wells. Both were hitchhiking. The next day, he kidnapped them, took them to a remote woodland area, and tied them to trees, where he threatened to kill them or sell them into prostitution. He was about to get rid of the girls when his radio screeched, and called away to a police emergency. He left both girls tied up and promised to return. Miraculously, they managed to wiggle out of their bonds. That call saved their lives. The 2 girls, who were aged 17 and 18, escaped their ropes and ran to the nearest police station, ironically, their kidnapper's own station. When Schaefer returned to the groves and discovered that his would-be victims had vanished, he had called the station and insisted that he had done, quote-unquote, something foolish. He went on a long-winded explanation, telling the sheriff that he had done something simply pretending to kidnap 2 girls in order to scare them silly, quote-unquote. Schaefer's boss didn't buy it. Gerard was stripped of his badge and slapped with a battery of charges. Somehow, in spite of everything, Schaefer managed to post his bail and was released from prison. 2 months later, on September 27, 1972, Schaefer abducted and tortured and butchered Susan Place, age 17, and Georgia Jessup, age 16. He buried their corpse underneath the now famous Devil Tree in Oak Hammock Park in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Months later, after Schaefer had beaten the rap for kidnapping Nancy and Paula, a couple of hikers came upon the decomposing and mutilated remains of Place and Jessup. The autopsy revealed that both girls had been tied to a tree at some point, and further investigation turned up documented eyewitness account that the girls were known hitchhikers. There were too many similarities, and a warrant was issued for Schaefer. In Schaefer's boudoir, policemen recovered violent stories that he had written that were full of accounts of torture, rape, and the murder of women, a diary of all of his victims. Even more damningly, the experts found personal possessions such as jewelry, diaries, and in one case, teeth from at least 8 young women and girls who had gone missing in the recent years. Schaefer was charged with the deaths of Place and Jessup, and in October 1973, he was pronounced guilty and given 2 life sentences. Officials soon declared that he was linked to around 30 missing women and girls. On December 3, 1995, Schaefer was found knifed to death in his cell. Fellow inmate Vincent Rivera was sentenced in 1999 of stabbing Schaefer and had 53 years and 10 months added to his life plus 20-year sentence that he was already serving for a double murder. One of Gerard John Schaefer's last quotes, "I'm probably at least one of the top serial killers in this century. I'm certainly one of the most interesting and maybe the most articulate and introspective. I am in no doubt the most skillful killer. I've killed women in all ways, from shooting, strangling, stabbing, and beheading, to odd ways such as drowning, smothering, and crucifixion." Very interesting overall view of what we're dealing with here tonight.
Every time I hear it, it just pisses me off.
I get it.
Every fucking time.
It's hard to imagine. It really is.
Guy should not have gotten extra time for stabbing him. I'm sorry.
No. All right. I mean,
they should take time off and say, you know what? That's some karmic good. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of helped us out here. Yeah.
You yourself killed 2 people. Not okay.
Right.
Not okay.
Not okay.
This guy killed like 30, right?
Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with here tonight, Jay, and we decided to get back there. And again, like I said, we didn't catch anything on video, but I do have a video that I want to show where we caught something audibly, and so that way you could listen to it and everybody else can as well. And I would get your take on it and see what you think. But give me a second here. And I'm going to share this with you.
Because sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Or so the state says.
So let's see here. Let's see. Share.
What's that? No, it doesn't turn on there. Hit the top button and we'll start recording. Who's that?
All right, Jay. Were you able to hear any of that?
I didn't. I mean, I heard I was talking, but I heard something like an animal in the background, but I didn't hear any anything else.
Yeah. So there's a lot, like a yell. It sounds like a woman yelling in the background. I don't know how to enhance this anymore, but
okay. I'll listen a little closer.
Yeah, I'll try for the podcast, but you can hear it, and then I say, "What the hell was that?" And if you can, just try to hear like right before that. There we go.
What's that? No, it doesn't turn on there. Hit the top button and we'll start recording. Who's that?
So I hear something, but it doesn't sound like a woman screaming to me. It kind of sounds like a bird off in the distance.
No, you hear it twice, and it's weird because you hear it like very like lightly the first time, like it sounds like it may be far away, but then the second time it's like it's really close to us. But that's the only thing that we caught on video. Let's get into some of the EVPs here, Jay, or some of the ghost box stuff that we have here. Let's see here.
But just let's give everybody a little background on that camera.
Yes, let's talk about.
The video you guys were just seeing was done with. I had a big spotlight and there was a camera attached to it.
Correct.
The camera had a full battery. It had a
full charge.
Had plenty of charge, and it would just randomly every 3 minutes. It seemed like every 3 to 3.5 minutes, it would shut itself off, and then turn itself back on. Sometimes I'd be walking around only to realize it was off, or I'd watch the counter and the counter get 3.5 minutes, and it restart counting over again.
Yeah, that's really odd. And of course, that always happens to you. This is the second time it's happened to you. The first time we were out there, we had issues with the EMF reader with you the last time, and this time it was the camera.
Well, I guess that settles it, William. Every time I come out, I cause problems. I should probably stop doing this shit.
No, it's not that it caused problems. This is that you.
I know. It
interacts with you that way.
I know.
It is. Yeah, that's just the way it is. But yeah, we got out there.
To my dismay,
we got out there. We ended up splitting up. It was a bad choice. Never do that. Thinking that
we broke horror rule number 1.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Right off
the bat. Yeah. So we already broke first rule number 1. I sent my son to go the long way to come back to meet us where the devil tree is at, and we decided to go the way that you would normally go, the easiest, fastest way to get to the tree. So we get there and, we start to do our investigation and, we don't catch anything, nothing much at that point. But my son is,
it was still light outside.
It was still light outside, but
it was still light. We were getting everything set up, but
he was gone for like 30 minutes. Yeah. So I started like, okay, I got to go find him.
I went first.
Right.
What was weird about that was as I was walking, I could hear footsteps behind me.
Right.
There was never anybody behind me.
Right. Yeah.
I tried changing my walk pattern. I tried slowing down. I tried speeding up. It didn't matter. Every time I stepped, I heard a step behind me.
And every time, and then when you came back and I went out, I felt like there was somebody watching me the whole time.
Yeah.
Like constantly watching me the whole time.
Yeah.
And
I felt that too.
Yeah, that's the whole feeling. So I ended up going through the whole, it's like a mile. this path that goes around this park and blah blah blah. It goes back out to the parking lot. So I go down this whole thing for like a mile and don't find my son anywhere. Half hour later, it's getting dark, and so I finally found him, and he's like doing circles basically. I don't know what happened, but he ends up doing circles. So that's the first thing that happened. He ends up getting lost. How, I don't know, because it's very simple. Just keep following. Yeah, you just keep following the trail to the right. Just keep following it to the right, and it'll just get you to where you need to get. I don't know how he got lost, but he got lost. So we ended up finding him, and we ended up going back out to the tree, going back the regular way. We get out there, and we start doing some EVP sessions, and we start using the ghost box. And all of a sudden, a group of people ended up showing up next to us. And so there was one particular girl. Her name was Bella. It was probably my son's age, mid-teens, maybe late teens, I would say.
Yeah.
And decided, hey, she wanted to kind of join us. I said, no problem. I made sure her parents were cool with it. The parents was fine. They were there. So we started doing a ghost box session right there, right near Gerard's little makeshift little area there. You can still see the cement.
You see the foundation. You see the basic foundation of what was his house out there, his facility, his small domicile.
Yeah.
And it's a couple cinder blocks. You see the basic outline of what the floor plan would have been for what had to be a very small,
shed-like thing.
Shed-like. I mean, it was a concrete building,
Right.
But it was like just like a small shack out in the middle of the woods.
Right. Yeah.
Not scary at all.
No, of course not. So we decided to get the ghost box out and start doing a session out there. And you know what? I think her being there really helped out a lot, Jay. I mean, as far as getting evidence is concerned.
She came in. I mean, she jumped in with both feet.
Yeah,
she was out there
is.
yelling. She was
Right.
she was there for it.
Yeah.
Way better than me. I give her props. She got bigger balls than I do.
Well, listen, a lot of this, revolves around us and her speaking at that moment. So I'm going to bring up the first one. Let's pop up this first one out here, Jay, and let's get this one going. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so. All right. So, first EVP I'm going to play here, Jay. It's. All right, I'm going to start it right now.
If you want to show me that you're here and you did this to all these women, show me. If you want to show.
Did you hear that, Jay?
I heard something.
Okay, let's hear it again.
Show me that you're here and you did this to all these women, show me.
So you hear here at the end.
Yeah, it's something. It's hard to make out, but it's something.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to our next one here, Jay. Of course, another one.
What's your name? Say it. What's your name? Say it.
So it sounds like do not. Did you hear that at the end there, Jay?
That's funny because I could have swore it sounded like John.
Oh, did you? Is that what you heard? Okay, let's.
I could have swore I heard John.
What's your name? Say it. What's your name?
Could be, Jay. Could be.
Something along those lines. I mean, it could be don't be, but I can hear that John.
Yeah, could be. Let's hear it one more time.
Say
it. Yeah. Interesting, Jay, huh?
Very.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear another one.
Let's go, John. Let's see it. Come on, do something.
With the wind.
Let's go, John. Let's see it. Come on, do something.
With the wind.
I don't think it said with the win. I think it said something else. What do you think, Jay?
Try it one more time. Because I know you hear it a couple times, but it's.
Yeah. Hold on.
Let's go, John. Let's see it. Come on, do something.
With the wind.
Let's go, John. Let's see it. Come on, do something.
With the wind.
What do you think, Jay?
It doesn't say with the wind.
Right?
It doesn't say with the wind, but it says.
Yeah, it says something else, right?
Right.
I can't make it out.
I can't make it out.
Let's hear it one more time.
Let's go, John. Let's see it. Come on, do something.
With the wind.
Let's go, John. Let's see it. Come on, do something.
With the wind.
Interesting. Don't know, man.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like he's saying it's like make you wait.
Right, make you wait or something like that. Yeah.
It sounds like make you wait. Make you wait.
Make you wait. All right. Let's do another one.
Kind of sounds like his personality.
Come on, John.
Coughing.
Come on, John.
Coughing.
Did you hear that?
Coughing.
Coughing.
Coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
Coughing.
Come on, John.
Coffin.
Coughing.
Coughing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we like to do with these girls. I like to strangle them, All right. Let's see another one.
Come on, John. You're not being very productive tonight. What's that? Come on, John. You're not being very productive tonight.
You hear that? You hear that little thing?
A little bit at the end, yeah.
Yeah. Right there. Watch.
Come on, John. You're not being very productive tonight. What's that?
So it says nobody like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of heard that.
Come on, John. You're not being very productive tonight. What's that?
Nobody. I heard it too with my own ears. That's weird.
Yeah.
You know. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do another one.
Come on, John.
Die.
Oh, die. Come on, John.
Die.
Oh, die.
Do you hear it, Jake? It says die. Like that.
Yeah. Yep, I do. That one I hear
Come on,
pretty.
John.
Die.
Oh, die. Come on, John.
Die.
Oh, die.
Yeah, that was fucking freaky, huh?
Yeah.
Whatever it was out there, Jay did not like me.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
It didn't like me at all.
Gee, I wonder why. You go out there and you yell at it and you antagonize it.
Yeah, I know.
Are you expecting it to bring you coffee and tea in your slippers?
All right, let's do another one.
What else am I? I hate you?
Asshole.
I hate you.
That's what I heard. What else am I? I hate you?
I hate you.
That's what I heard. What else am I?
What do you think that says, Jay? Does it say I hate you?
I hear asshole.
You hear asshole? He said that quite a few times too.
Listen,
we caught asshole a few times on there.
Well, if it's asshole,
we did. I mean, we caught it a few times.
Yeah, it doesn't like you.
It doesn't. Jake, when you hear
although
what do you think? What's wrong?
Every time I'm out there, all my electronics phone's all fucked up. The temperatures, it's fine for everybody around.
Oh,
but it's always different with me.
There is another piece of evidence that I wasn't able to basically show, but we talk about it in one of our videos that we did record. That there was a 6-degree temperature difference. Yeah, from the recorder that was on the tree versus the one that Jay was holding.
No matter where I went.
No matter where he went, it was 6 degrees different. And we don't know why.
When the tree, when the temperature in the tree would rise,
right,
mine would fall to 6 degrees, and they would opposite. It would always be opposite. One would be 6 degrees higher, one would be 6 degrees lower. It was always the same. But as soon as one started changing, the other one started changing.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't matter where I went. It didn't matter how I held it. It didn't matter.
Didn't matter. It did
6
not
degrees
matter.
different. And my camera kept turning. Yeah, I don't know why you dragged me. What?
All right, we got some more here, Jake. Hold on.
You gonna push me out? Try pushing me out.
No.
You gonna push me out? Try pushing me out.
No.
So yeah, she even heard it herself.
That's funny. I didn't hear no. I heard your joke.
Oh, really?
I heard your joke.
No, that's interesting. Let's hear that again.
Listen really closely. You hear like a K-E at the very end. Joke. That's either joke or choke. You might also be saying choke. Try again.
You gonna push me out? Try pushing me out.
No.
Choke you.
Choke you. Choke you, huh?
Sounds like choke you to me.
Let's hear.
You gonna push me out? Try pushing me out.
No.
Ooh. Yeah, I love it. Oh, we always catch some good stuff when we're out there, Jay, especially EVPs off this ghost box. Let's hear. We got another one.
Did you turn off all their equipment? Did you turn off all their equipment?
I heard absolutely. What did you hear?
It kind of sounds like it's impossible. It could be absolute too.
Could be.
Did you turn off all their equipment?
It kind of does sound like asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, one sound more like asshole. Asshole.
Did you turn off all their equipment?
It's either asshole or absolutely. I mean,
yeah, he really didn't like you.
Did not like me. Did not like me. All right, last one for the EVPs here.
Come on, John.
No.
This one's creepy because it sounds like women, like, being like, you know, taken advantage of here.
Come on, John.
No.
Come on, John.
No.
Come on, John.
All right.
Yeah, that one's too close for comfort.
Yeah.
That's very clearly a couple women yelling no.
Yeah. One more time.
Come on, John.
No.
Come on, John.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of shit that we catch there every time, without fail. You know, it's, you know, we've gone there twice and we've got all this information twice. You know, it's unbelievable, Jay, and it's an unbelievable story. This guy has probably killed more than 30 women, you know, that are unaccounted for, by the way, because, you know, they haven't found out. But very interestingly, Jay, before we wrap this up, there's something else that's popped up here that is quite interesting. There's actually a new case that popped up here last year.
That's what you said.
Yeah, in between us investigating this place, in 2022, last year, there's another ID victim, or victim ID. Let's just talk about this here. Florida Jane Doe ID'd after nearly 48 years may be the victim of serial killer cop Gerard Schaefer. Riviera Beach, Florida, June 2022. Skeletal remains found in a Florida mangrove swamp in 1974 have been identified as a missing teen, and authorities, surmise that she had been fallen victim to a serial killer who authorities once said made Ted Bundy look like a Boy Scout. Genetic genealogist from Texas-based Authorem Inc. have helped the Palm Beach County office identify the girl previously known as only the Singer Island Jane Doe. Susan Gail Poole was 15 when her family reported her missing from their Broward County trailer park just before Christmas in 1972. Quote unquote, nobody knew where she went. The Palm Beach County Detective Bill Springer said Thursday. Her clothes and her pocketbook were still at her friend's apartment that she was staying at. At the time, Poole's family and friends did not know if she had left on her own accord or she had met with foul play or whatever the case may have been. Poole had a history of hitchhiking and left the home once before. No sign of the missing teen was found until the morning of June 16th, 1974. 3 days later, when a man and his sons went looking for driftwood in the swampy wooded area of Singer Island known as Burnt Bridges. According to the news accounts, at the time, they instead found scattered human remains and scraps of clothing. Quote unquote, she was tied up in the mangroves with wire to a tree, Springer said at a news conference. She was basically skeletal remains, totally nothing left of her except for bones. Authorities attempted to use dental records to identify the girl, who was estimated to be between the ages of 13 and 19 years old when she had died. She was believed to have been slain between 8 weeks and 8 months before her remains were found. With no identification and no suspects, the case went cold. Meanwhile, the assaults and deaths of several other women in the Palm Beach County area had been making headlines. In July 1972, 5 months before Poole vanished, 2 vacationing teens were hitchhiking near the beach when they encountered the on-duty, of course, Martin County Sheriff deputy named Gerard John Schaefer. Schaefer, who told Nancy Ellen Trotter and 18-year-old Paula Sue Wells that hitchhiking was illegal, and even though it actually really wasn't. He called into the station on his audio radio saying that he had 2 girls and asked if it was okay to take them home. Basically, we know the story from there. He decided to go ahead and, take them to the tree, rape them, murder them, and hang them from that tree and bury them. And that's where this whole thing kind of comes together. So yeah, now Jay, another victim to Gerard John Schaefer. Literally last year, we're finding links to this guy still, and it goes to really show you how prolific this guy really was and what he did.
I mean, back in the 70s, man. I mean, we're talking late 60s, early 70s. There wasn't as much DNA stuff. There wasn't as much. He was a cop.
Yeah.
Really, it just kind of hit me. If you really take this guy's full story into account, right? The guy was trying to go in the priesthood. Why do you think he was trying to go in the priesthood?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because he believed in God, and it wasn't because of faith. Because he didn't get it because he didn't believe.
Right.
Why was he trying to get a position like that of power over people?
We know.
Okay.
To take advantage.
What's the next step? Cop.
Right.
And now as a cop, you also learn all the things all of what you're looking for.
Exactly.
I mean, really,
cover your tracks.
For that time, the girl in Broward to be found in Singer Island. Singer Island isn't far from me.
Right.
I'm an hour and a half. We're an hour and a half north.
Right.
Broward.
Yeah.
Broward.
Yeah.
And that's the top half of Broward.
Right.
Right. So we're talking this girl's remains was found hours from her home.
Right.
He took her where she couldn't be found because it's not back in the social media days.
Right.
It wasn't back when information was as
who would even think
shareable.
to look there? Yeah, who would even think to look there? And look how by happenstance it was found.
Why would you go in the mangroves?
Right.
Why would you go in there? And nothing in the mangroves was good. Right? Snakes, gators, spiders. Those are the worst, by the way. There's all kinds of shit in it. Yeah. Spiders and ghosts, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And they follow me everywhere I go.
How about a spider ghost? Just
am I coming to your house so you could rock me to sleep tonight? Is that what's happening?
Some nightmare fuel right there, Jay, huh? Ghost spider.
Yeah, and hey, let's keep this in mind too. Hey, what happens when you stop smoking for a few days and you go to sleep? What happens?
You start twitching.
I don't dream anymore. I don't have dreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't dream unless I'm sober. And my dreams, folks, are legend. There are stories of legend and how fucking crazy and how real they become. I prefer to not have them. Okay.
Oh yeah, but listen, I mean,
Nightmare on Elm Street 1 set that precedence. From there, I was fucked.
You were done. I mean, and this guy is something of nightmares. This guy is a nightmare. This guy is basically fucking Freddy Krueger. This guy is Freddy fucking Krueger.
Children.
Yeah.
Stab him.
Yeah.
Choke him. Didn't
He would
care.
do everything.
Total sadist. Didn't care about their life. They were there for him to impose his will, get off his jollies, and just see how depraved he could be at their expense. I mean, it's just really
sick individual. Yeah.
Be hard pressed to find somebody worse.
Yeah, very hard. I think that's going to be a good wrap up here, Jay, of the return to Devil Street. For those that are looking to go out there, you can find the Devil Street at Oak Hammock Park, and basically it's
Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie. You can check it out. It's open until about 9 o'clock in the evening. You can go out there and see this really crazy area where you could tell, when me and Jay were there, talk about, what was here 40 years ago? There's nothing. There was nothing out there.
I mean, there's barely anything there now.
There is. I mean, there's just houses, but you could tell those houses are, not
brand new.
20 years old.
There's still construction. There's still construction going on throughout those neighborhoods.
Exactly.
That state park, the parking lot, the playground, all that stuff is new.
Right. Yeah. You can
Super
tell
new.
Yeah, you can tell.
Super new. Back in the 70s, that was nothing.
No.
There's probably maybe even I doubt there was even really a dirt road leading out that way.
Probably.
I bet not.
Yeah,
I bet not.
But yeah, you guys can check it out, and we're going to be bringing more of this kind of stuff here at Dark Fringe Radio. You can make sure to go to our website, darkfringeradio.com. And that's it for tonight. Jay, anything else before we say goodnight?
Friends, say your prayers, take your vitamins, drink your milk. Hulkamania.
There we go. All right, brother. All right,
brother.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Dark Fringe Radio. We'll see you guys again next week with another episode. And thank you so much for joining us here, of course, on Dark Fringe Radio. Good night.